Hello, 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 and welcome to WSA TV, the Women's Premier Show Special Edition. Today, I'm here with Gail Watson. And have you ever wondered if your message or your story is worthwhile to share, or if there would be somebody who would even be interested in it? The confusion comes when we let our self-doubt take over. And today, Gail and I are going to explore what messages are worthwhile. So, hi, Gail.
How's it going, Laura? Hi, everybody.
Gail, it's great to have you here as founder of Women Speakers Association. I know we're in the midst of, and you're primarily doing a lot of the interviewing. We have this Voices of the 21st Century book that's coming out for 2024. And this question comes up a lot, right? Do I have a worthwhile message to share?
It absolutely comes up a lot. It's something I say to myself. It's always an interesting question to explore because so in the process of creating the book Voices of the 21st Century, we interview a lot of different women and I hear all their different stories. And that question goes, well, is anybody want to hear this? Or, why would someone listen to me? And this is more often than not that I hear this response. And as I sit back as the person on the outside, listening, I'm hearing this story and I go, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? This is amazing. and it gets me pumped up and I love it. And because I can see it. It's because they're just speaking from their heart when they're sharing with me what they want to talk about.
And I've heard a lot from women who become authors in our collaborative book that they have a story and they don't know how to work it into their regular work life, whether they're in corporate or they're an entrepreneur. It might be too personal. And I'm like, but your story is so exquisite, is so impactful. Somebody needs to hear it. And I'm sure we can find a way to tie it into your business. At least the whole book can be tied into your business. And that's what we talk about throughout the whole journey, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, so there's the book part. And when you're part of the book and Voices of the 21st Century is designed to help you get on more stages, to help bring more publicity to your business and what you do. But really the power of this book is who you are. When you're able to put your message in it, like, first of all, let's talk about where that message lives, right? Has anyone, or have you ever felt it's kind of this burning in your gut of this is what I would always say? And I sometimes ask this with some of the women that I'm interviewing, if there was one message that you could leave in this world, what would it be? Right? That's what I call your gifted message. You were gifted it for a reason, for a purpose. Mm-hmm. And that message only has power when you share it. And that's what the beautiful thing with Voices of the 21st Century, what it does allow you to do is have a place for that gifted message to land, right? And allow that story to find the reader, because that's how the book is designed. So we can promise you this book's going all over the world. And that story will find that person on this planet somewhere. And that's where your gifted message has that impact.
It has so much impact. I'll tell you a story. My sister, I gave the book. I was in one of the Voices books and I gave it to her. And she found the book on her shelf 2 years later and realized she hadn't read my story. She called me up crying about something she didn't even realize about me. It brought us together in a whole new way that it still moves me, because it has impact. Even you think you will have to have this massive impact out there in the world. It's even impactful in your existing circle. Mm-hmm. And so you never know why you have to share your message or who you have to share your message with. But when you get it out in this book, first of all, it's out, it's permanent. It's not in a stream that just goes by and gets lost in the noise, but it's in a book that people will find, whether it's in a library, because we tell people to put it in the library, or in your sister's bookshelf when she's moving and cleaning up,
I put them in those little Do you ever see in your neighborhood kiosks where you can put books? Book exchange, do you have that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I put them in there. So much fun. But there's one author that comes to mind, one who had participated in our book and had that same conversation with her. She had always wanted to be in a book and get her message out. And at the beginning it's fearful and you go explore that. What story do I tell? And what should I do? She did it, and we were just about to launch. No, we did launch, didn't we? And she was part of that launch, and then she went to celebrate. She went on a vacation, a 2-week vacation, and on that vacation she passed away. And
Yeah.
it was her son and then her books were shipped to her home. And on the porch, her son arrived to her home to go through her belongings. And there was this case of books, this best-selling author and her name. And those books were present at her memorial service where everybody could get a copy. And I just love it. And it always hits home as to one of the original whys we do this book. Why is it that? Because that no woman on this planet should die with her message in her. You have the gift to put it out there to make that difference. And that story has always hit home as to, the reminder, the importance of what we do, and the worthiness of our story, regardless what it is,
Yeah. And some of us has these big lofty goals to change the world, and others of us just want to see where it goes, or we know we have something, but we don't have the guts, say, to or the money, the finances to say, oh, I'm going to invest $20,000 in writing my own big book and doing a marketing campaign and getting an editor and designer and social media and marketing and advertising. That's too big to chew for most people who are not marketing professionals or have a big budget. Then putting your toe in the water with a Voices of the 21st Century collaborative authorship is huge, because you can do all those things for a fraction, a trickle, like you say, of the cost, a trickle of the cost. And you will also begin to see the power of your words, how worthwhile your message is. And it might give you the boost to do your own book in the future, or who knows where it's going to take you, to a TV show, to a podcast, to a bigger website, to a new set of services, to a series of books, to videos, who knows? We give you all these ideas. And I love watching the women blossom, because you know what? The answer to that question is, do you have a worthwhile message to share? Yes. Right. And they get it. They finally get it and can then start integrating that into their own, I like to say, their DNA. So then they have to share it in another way, or they use this book in a very creative way. Like you said, put it in those little kiosks, those little community library, the free libraries on every corner here in the neighborhoods, right? Practically.
Yeah. But I wanted to get back to your question as well about how would we use it. So our business can be one thing that we do, but sometimes our message, how do the two tie together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's a really great piece is that when you are putting yourself out there, on a podcast, on a stage, on a YouTube live, talking about what you do, how you help others, you're able to use that line. And I've just co-authored book Voices of the 21st Century, Women Empowered, where I share my why. And then you can take that kind of position and ask yourself, why are you doing what you do? Why do you get out of bed every morning? Like, what drives you? And this gives your customers, your clients, the ability just to really get to know who you are, because we know that people will do business with people they know, like, and trust, right? That whole big know, like, trust factor. And that's really, really important. But that's how you can bridge, because there is a reason why you do what you do in this world. And it's sometimes just sharing that why. And it can be very, very simple.
Yeah. I feel like there's somebody watching right now who's looking for a lifeline. What's going to energize my life, make it more meaningful, get me out of bed, connect me to people who are authentic and want to be my support system. I need a community. I feel like if you're watching this and any of those resonated, Voices of the 21st Century, the book, being a part of that, being a part of this community that's growing, we've done this 6 years now, going on 7, is your place. It's your home. It's the place to come and get that energizing that you might be missing right now, that is your craving. And or if your message is like, where do I go next with it? I'm like, I don't know. This is your answer, right?
Yeah,
We'd love to be that answer, is what I'm saying.
absolutely. There's a statement I keep on my personal Facebook page, and it says, to the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. And this is a platform for you to reach that one person, to be their world. So the good news is accepting applications right now, right in the midst of filling our book. We are looking for 17 more stories. So if you'd like to discuss that, I'd love to discuss that with you. You would just simply go to www.voicesofthe21stcentury.com. That's 21 with a little ST, voicesofthe21stcentury.com. And there's an application. When you fill that out, I'll reach out to you personally. We'll set up a time to talk and we can explore your message. We can explore the hundreds of messages that you have in your head, or the one that's in your heart, and we can definitely see if it's a fit.
Let's talk about why there's an application. Like, why don't we just say, hey, we'll take your money and you can be in the book?
Okay.
Why not?
Well, why? Because the book is purposeful. The book has a theme. The book is a place that it's very important that each story that we hear is vetted and that it follows the same thing, because we come into it as a collaborative unit. So it's not just you, it's 44 other women. And we all need to be really proud, and we all need to really be able to speak to the book and the messages within. So that's why it's really, really important that hits. And that's why we do meet one-on-one and have that conversation. And you know what, if it's not a fit, that's okay. We can figure out something else that would also give you visibility to your message. So yeah, actually, I think that was the first time I've ever been asked that, Laura.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the application process is brilliant, because if people have this question, is my message worthwhile? They can ask you.
Yes. And
It gives
that's
them
what
an
we
opportunity
explore.
to ask, and it gives you
Yeah.
an opportunity to hear and vet them to see, well, is this, a worthwhile message? And we're not doing a value judgment on it, right? It's not a
Yeah.
value.
It's to find the common thread. There is I visualize it in my mind, a thread that connects each story. So as we are talking with each other, that's what's actually going through my mind, is this thread, and ensuring that the group, that these stories come together as one, because we're bound between the front cover and the back cover together. So with a title, so we want to make sure that we're all connected, and that's why I think, now that I'm just going through that, when the women have been coming in to Voices of the 21st Century, we come in not knowing each other, so we're kind of looking around, who are you, what's going on? And as we keep going through and practicing things and getting to know one another and connecting, by the time we come to February, our launch, wow, you've got a whole group of new friends, but not just friends. You've got now people you're doing collaborations with. You're doing, I know there's a couple right now, one in Scotland, one in British Columbia, and they are doing training sessions together now. And it's beautiful. And so you're forever bonded just by the bounds of this book. So it's really important that we're all together that way.
Yeah. So I love, and I always hear, because I hear once the authors come into the
She's
book,
our project manager.
I get to communicate with all the authors and help them navigate through the whole next 9 months. And I always hear that how valuable the conversation with you was. They always get something. It's like a coaching session even. So definitely people should check out the voices of the 21st century.com page and put their name in the hat to speak with you, because fill out the form. There's no obligation, right? At this point, this is
No,
just a conversation. Is that correct?
absolutely. There's zero obligation. And those conversations, thanks for that feedback, Laura, because I love them so much and they excite me. And, sometimes there's tears. In fact, I was just on one this morning and there's some tears. And I mean, their stories touch me each and every time. And I love just learning so much more. And I feel like I'm the lucky one because I get to hear them all.
Right.
In the book, we only have about 45. But I get to hear them all and they're amazing. So yes, do you have a worthy message? Probably, because in the conversations, we're just just beautiful. I love the heart. And sometimes we can ask that question, like we can be about business and we know our business inside and out. We can speak about it. And that's our mind message, but what's our heart saying? What's that one inside?
Hmm.
And that's what I like to ask sometimes is what's inside you? What would you say? And when you hear that come out and you get response to that, you just go, maybe, just maybe, this is it.
So explore that. Go to voices of the 21st century.com. Read it, feel into this. We might be your lifeline to your next great adventure here and getting your message out to, I loved what you said. I have to repeat because I typed it out here. Is your message only has power. Your message only has power when you share it. Let us help you share it. So we'll see you hopefully in the Voices of the 21st Century book. And just know, no matter what, your message does matter. It is worthwhile. And Gail, what? We want to see them shine.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's go on the journey together. Let's have a conversation first.
Yeah, let's get to know each other. I mean, that's
Let's get
kind
to
of
know
the
each
unique
other.
differentiator about this process. It's not like, hey, we want you. No, hey, we want to get to know you. And then you'll want us and we'll want you. Maybe. We think so. We hope so. But we're not attached. And we do want this authentic voice of yours to be heard because we know somebody out there is also waiting for it. So we'll see
Absolutely.
you. And we're waiting for you at voicesofthe21stcentury.com. Thanks, Gail.
Thanks, Laura.